Hey, what's going on? ALONSO here, and welcome back to another roundup of my F1 Fantasy Game League, and just an update on how I did and how some of you guys did in my ALONSO Racing YouTube League on the game. And as you can see, the so-and-so week for me, hands up once again who had their turbo driver out of the Grand Prix. Yeah, sound. I don't know what it is. I think I've lost my touch, to be honest. 2 weeks in a row now, my turbo driver has not finished the race. Last week, or the last race week, I should say, it was Nico Hulkenberg, and this week it was Fernando Alonso, who would have scored pretty damn highly if he had finished where he was. But no, minus 12 instead, and that was turboed. So, yeah, I had the opportunity to turbo Pierre Gasly, didn't. I could have even just turboed Sainz, that'd be a bit better. Didn't, which is even more crushing, because for a split second before the race, I think it was on Friday, I decided to turbo Sainz, and then last minute I was like, yeah, but you know what? Alonso should score pretty damn high, so let's stick the turbo on him, and yeah, his gearbox conked out, so that was unfortunate. But my race week 3 was a little bit better, though, than the last race week, because I got 148 points in total. Sainz with 6, Vettel with 36. Obviously, Ricciardo pole in the win, 44. Red Bull scored pretty well, 52. Gasly was a big one, 22. I really wish I turboed him now in hindsight. And Alonso minus 12. But looking back to race week 2, I got 80 points there. Race week 1, 90. So that was my highest scoring weekend. So I can't complain, but I don't think that's enough really to make up ground to where I was. I think I'm still pretty much, yeah, you can see here actually, just in the corner of the screen, I'm still 10,400th in my own league, which now has shot up to 17,000 of you, over 17,000 of you are in this league, which is crazy. We are literally the biggest league globally, like the biggest public-made league, which is absolutely insane. So a big thank you to any of you guys who have joined the league. It's just crazy to think that that's actually a thing. That's pretty mad. So yeah, but being 10,000th, so I'm well and truly in like towards the lower third in my own league. So that's not great, but we've got a lot of great people in our league. I believe the guy who's leading my league is third place globally. So we've got a lot of strong competition, but that's how I did. Let's check out how you guys did, or at least the top 10 in my league did. And let me know in the comments below if you had a blunder like that with Alonso. Let me know what your turbo driver was, and if it unfortunately was Alonso or whatever, or any kind of just big kind of losses or gains that you guys had in your race week here today. But let's check out how the top 10 and kind of the prospective stats line up in my own league. So taking a look here, so that's the top 10 there. Jay Bear in first place, and then you can see the top 10. We have 2 people drawing for P6 and then 2 for P4. So a little bit of a spread from the top end, because I believe last week I think 3 people tied for P3, I think it was. But if we look down, like number 98 is on 508 points, and so I'm nowhere even near that. But I like the leap. I like the fact that there's a huge leap from 508. You know, there's only 200 points in there, and 200 points equates to 10,300 something places down the pecking order. That's just insane. So I think it's quite close knit after you get like down from like 400 points. I think it must be very, very close knit. But let's take a look then at the top 10. So we're going to start off with this long ass name with 539 points. Hopefully this is all correct now. I think F1 have kind of sorted out how everything works here. So we've got Pac Japan Motorsport Division PJMSD team. That's a pretty long name, but it's I think Tarek from the USA. So his points were Hamilton, Ricciardo, Leclerc, Ericsson, Sainz, and Red Bull. Ericsson did pretty well, actually, 15 points. That's surprising, actually, but obviously Ricciardo and Hamilton, big players, and Sainz turboed, so he got 12 points, a fair play, and obviously Red Bull scored pretty highly with the pole and the win kind of factoring to that. So yeah, I would guess pretty solid there. Obviously going for higher point scorers with Hamilton, Ricciardo, and then you just kind of have to hopefully, fingers crossed, hope the Sauber guys do kind of okay. And I guess I'm actually quite surprised that Ericsson got 15 actually this week. So fair enough. But that's Tarek there with 539 points. But we'll go back now and check out P9, which was only a little bit ahead, 542. So only 3 points in it. So that's from the UK. Tommy, key to success, and it's Hartley with -2 after he got taken out. So 2 Toro Rosso drivers. Bold. Gasly 22 obviously did pretty well. Raikkonen though with the I actually didn't know you could turbo Raikkonen. That's fair enough. So I guess Raikkonen, you can only turbo a driver that's low enough in price. So fair play. I did not know you could get away with turboing Kimi Raikkonen because I would have assumed he would have been high enough in price. But fair play, 46 points. That's a pretty big turbo actually for Kimi Raikkonen. Verstappen still got 13 points after the pretty shoddy FP3 in qualifying situation. So that's fair enough. But Red Bull with the points. Ricardo, obviously, I'm guessing a lot of people will feature Ricardo in their race week. Obviously, I think a few people at the top definitely use their wild card. That's another thing. I have not used my wild card yet, which I'm very tempted to use my wild card going to the Canadian Grand Prix, because so far my strategy with my team, going back to my team, has been very spread out. Like, I've gone for Ricardo, Vettel, Red Bull, and then it's kind of midfield drivers to fill it up. But I'm feeling like the way to go is just trying to fill out my team with high scoring drivers, and then just trying to use the remaining money I have to just go for some low enders that might do okay but might not do great. But I feel like you have a better chance with that, because at the moment I'm putting my team a lot of faith in just good luck out of them not getting taken out or DNFing with this big spread I've got. Because I kind of went into this thinking like, how I've done the Premier League fantasy when I played it in the past. If you've ever played the EPL fantasy game, you kind of go for a nice even spread. You don't put all your eggs into like 3 players out of the 11 you can choose. But because it's only 5 drivers in one team, it's a little bit more difficult, a little bit of a different game compared to like the EPL fantasy team. So I feel like for me, I think I might go for the wild card for the next race and change out a lot of people and go for like 3 top end drivers, or 2 top end two top end drivers, 1 kind of semi top end, a good team, and then the 2 remaining drivers might just go for the Sauber guys or something like that, or maybe even the Williams guys. Just kind of go for the top end. I don't know. It's interesting because we'll get to it, but some of the top guys in my league, at least, went for that kind of strategy with the wildcard pick, clearly. But we're going to go up then to go from Sweden 5-4-7, so only 5 points ahead. Vettel, Magnussen, Ricardo, Sainz, Leclerc. Leclerc still got 1 point. Red Bull, so K-Mag did okay, 15 points, even though he was pretty quiet. Haas had a very, very quiet Grand Prix the entire way along. I'm wondering, did he have... Okay, 205. He didn't change his team, actually. So he had the same exact team apart from Mercedes. He changed from Mercedes to Red Bull, which actually, that's an inspired pick. Actually, changing from Mercedes to Red Bull, which kind of makes sense going to Monaco. But a bit of a better race week for him for last week, race week 2 at the Spanish Grand Prix. We'll move up now to 5-4-8, only 1 point ahead. The Italian, Davide, I remember him from race week 2. Alonso -6, but he turboed Raikkonen again. Look at this, a lot of you guys turboing Raikkonen. I need to look into this more. I'm definitely probably wildcarding something, because turboing Raikkonen is an inspired decision. Like, you have Raikkonen, who you know is probably going to get up into the top 5 with a Ferrari car, but he's cheap enough to turbo. That's an inspired pick. That's a very inspired pick. Move on to Mercedes Dream Team, the American here. Oh, whoops, I clicked the wrong one there. My bad. Let's go back here. So 5-4-8, the exact same score then. He had Perez 0 points. Oh... He turboed Perez. Unfortunate, my man. Unfortunate. Turboed Perez. The rest did pretty well, but turboing Perez, not very good from there, but not as bad as -12 for Alonso, which is just not great. So moving on to then Franklin, KLK Racing team. Again, Raikkonen turboed, 2 Ferrari guys. Decent points haul for him. Then Sainz, Leclerc, Magnussen, and the Mercedes. But that's what I'm talking about. 151 points. That's a decent points haul. I mean, if you swapped out maybe Merc for Red Bull, who maybe costs a little bit less, and then kind of have maybe someone, or if Leclerc didn't have the DNF, that would have been a big points haul. So you know what I mean. I feel like for me, I think the route for the next race for the Canadian Grand Prix, I think I'm going to go for some higher drivers and then just fill them out with lower ones. But again, Raikkonen turbo, surprise, surprise. Massa F1 team this is. Oh my god. Apologies for butchering your name here. Abdel Rahman, I think. Vettel, Raikkonen, Van Dorn, only 4 points. Obviously, he had a pretty poor race. Gasly, 22. Hulkenberg, 16. That's annoying. Because I took Hulkenberg out after Spain. I put Sainz in. I should have just kept Hulkenberg in, but then who would have I could have changed my team maybe, or I don't know. There's a lot of what ifs in this fantasy game. We're gonna go for third place then. White Bull, Raikkonen again, Turbo, no shock there. Ferrari's the team, 54 points. Actually, how much? What was the Red Bull to Ferrari difference? Ferrari scored 54. Red Bull scored 52. Okay, obviously Verstappen brought that down quite a bit there. But that was White Bull. That was Alex with Hulkenberg again scoring well. The only low scorer was Charles Leclerc. And then second place is going to be, well, it's a 1-2 for Germany here. So Germany's doing very well in my league. 5-6-1. So that's a very weird name. Hollows Geller Renstall team. I don't know. Yannick, I think, from Germany. Ricardo, Raikkonen, Turbo, Hamilton. See, this is what I'm talking about. Big plays. 3 top drivers, Ricardo, Raikkonen, and Hamilton. Then you have just lower drivers, Ericsson, Hartley. Hartley does, this race he didn't get to the points, but you might fancy him to do well at some random Grand Prix. Ericsson still got 15, hey ho, and Red Bull got 52. I feel like that's a strategy, just getting 3 high drivers. And then the man, J-Bear, Germany, 583 in total. Bobby, he's third place globally, so fair play, Bobby. And he's first place in our league. Sainz turboed. So that's probably the best out of his choice because he didn't have like a Raikkonen. That's the only driver he could have turboed because he can't turbo Ricardo, can't turbo Vettel. And then Ricardo, Vettel, Ferrari, Leclerc, Alonso -6 though, but he's done so well in previous rounds. Race week 2 he scored big, 210. But look at this, he wildcarded Monaco. And so that's why he's inspired me to probably wildcard for Canada. You can only wildcard once, but I think I might change it so early on in the season right now because I don't think the strategy I've gone for is not playing out. Well, it might play out long term, but it's not playing out right now. But fair play to Bobby because globally, he is, if we look at the global league, he is third place. So repping the AARAVA YouTube league, third place up there. But yeah, globally, you can see we are 17,768. If we look at the most popular one, that's literally the next highest is 9,981. So you guys have smashed it. So again, big thank you to anyone who's joined. It's not too late to join. You can still join. Obviously, you'll be 3 race weeks late, but you can still join for the heck of it, just to have a bit of fun and maybe get featured. I don't know. Because let's have a look. Let's give a bit of a showcase down to the lower end of the 100. In 98, we've got Corix Racing, 508. Let's have a look here. Dammy, I think that is, from Belgium. Magnussen, Turbo, 30. Hamilton, Raikkonen, Sainz, Ericsson, Ferrari. Decent enough, but yeah, you can still join our YouTube league. But that's been a little rundown here. Short little video on a rundown of how my league's gone and how my demise went. Yeah, I'm not very happy with Alonso retiring. Definitely on the edit team, I'm looking at probably. I really want a wild card. I think I want a wild card and change this entire ordeal up. Let me know what you guys are thinking for your strategy for the Canadian Grand Prix. Are you going to wait till practice? And even if you are you going to wild card it? Maybe I definitely probably am going to wild card. But let me know in the comments below. If you did enjoy the video, hit the like button. Let me know what you thought. If you're new around here, do get subscribed. The podcast will be coming out later today, guys, to review Monaco. And there's also some good news coming out of the Monaco Grand Prix surrounding Monaco, and then also some news about Ferrari and some Sauber news about a technical director changing. So I look forward to our analysis on that in the podcast later on today. That'll be coming out. But yeah, that's been this video. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.